Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to show you step by step how to build this simple shadow box. By the end of this video, you'll know how to build a clean, professional looking project, even if you're brand new to woodworking. Let's get building. New project day, baby! The first thing I need to do is grab some rough cut lumber from my stockpile and square it up so it's S4S or surfaced four sides. If you don't have any rough cut stock on hand, then no worries. This design uses 3/4 inch stock, which can be found at any hardware or home store, like Home Depot or Lowe's. They keep 3/4 inch maple and oak in stock in most of their stores, and depending on your location, may have some other varieties as well. While I'm working on squaring up this stock, I wanted to let you know I've made plans for this build, and if you'd like to get access to them for free, stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to tell you how. We have all the other pieces cut except the back, and for pieces you're going to need two 11 by 3 3/4 pieces, two 16.5 by 3 3/4 pieces, and then two 11 by 1.5 and two 16.5 by 1.5 pieces. Every piece has a good side and a bad side. I picked the sides that I like best and made sure those are facing on the outside. And now I'm just going to draw some lines so that when I go to make all my cuts, I'm oriented, and I'll just label them with numbers so I know what piece attaches to what. This is just something I like to do to keep myself organized. So now that we got our pieces all cut, oriented the way we want them, marked up, there's a couple things we need to do for the next couple steps. One is going to be adding in a dado in the top panel for our glass insert. The other is going to be adding a rabbet in the back of our bottom panel for the back insert. And then we obviously need to add our miters to all our corners to be able to join them up. So of those steps, the first thing we're going to do next is add the dado for our glass insert. And that is going to be 1/4 inch down from the top at 1/8 inch thick. So the way I designed this is most standard saw blades are 1/8 inch thick. They'll give you a 1/8 inch thick cut, which is called the kerf of the cut. That matches up with the thickness of the glass panel we ordered. It's 1/8 inch thick. So you should just be able to do one pass with your table saw and get your dado for your glass panel. Now we need to set our table saw to make a 1/4 inch depth of cut. So to do that, I have these cool depth gauge finders by Craig Jig that are really cool, but you can also just use a regular old ruler to set the height. So what we're going to do is lower our blade till we get to where the tip of the teeth are just grazing this gauge, and we lock it down. And if you're doing it this method, you can check and make sure that your teeth are right around that 1/4 inch mark. Lock your blade in place. Set my table saw to 1/4 inch. Lock it down. So now we're over at the miter saw, which is where we're going to cut our miters. So I set up my pieces, how they're going to be organized for the final glue up, just as a guide to help keep me oriented when I'm making my miters. And double check and make sure your miters are all marked and oriented in the correct direction, because it really stinks if you cut them and it's wrong. So I take my pieces now, and I'm going to set this to 45 degrees. Now I'm set to cut my miters. Now I got all the miters cut on one side at 45 degrees. I'm going to set this to 45 degrees on the opposite side. Got my pieces. Now I'm going to orient them back based on their numbers. Like doing a puzzle. Kind of fun. My wife brought me a Starbucks, so that's awesome. Now we can check the fit for our glass panel. Once we've seen that we got a good fit, we can do our glue up. All right, once you have the blue painter's tape on, flip pieces over. And what we're going to be doing is applying glue to the mitered ends and then inserting the glass panel. We don't need glue in here because that's just a guide to hold the glass panel. It's not connecting any of the wood. So we're just putting glue in the mitered ends here. I'm all set to go. So now you take this guy, these go on the corners. Cool. That's good, set that aside. This clamp is really good for picture frames and anything where you're going to be making miters, and it's going to come in really handy right here. I have a link in the description to all the tools I'm using for this project. Click on that link, it's going to take you to Amazon, and there's going to be a page that shows you all the products I used in this project, and this is one of them. All right, now for our other bottom panel here. Fantastic. And again, remember for this one, we're going to put in a rabbet for the back panel, but we're not going to do that till after the glue is dry, and I'll show you why when we get to that step. So for this, we're all set for the glue up as well, and we're going to do the same thing we did with that one. All right, now that we got these guys all glued and clamped, give the glue half a day to dry, and then we'll come back and finish up our project. So now we're going to put our rabbet in the back so we can put our back panel in. To do that, I've put a rabbet bit in my router, and this rabbet bit has a bearing on it that's going to let me cut in a 1/4 inch, and this rabbet will cut a 1/2 inch deep. So that's exactly what we want. The rabbet's going to go in the interior here, and I'm just going to clamp some pieces of wood on the side here to give myself a wider base for my base plate of my router to sit on. Now we're going to take our 1/2-inch plywood that's going to sit in that rabbet we just cut, and we're going to mark out 10 inches wide by 15.5 inches long. Give our panel a test fit. So the next thing we need to do is add our felt to our back panel. This is the felt I chose. I went with black because this project is going to an actual customer, and they want black felt because they're putting a knife and a plaque in there, and that's what they want. So I got black felt, but you can get any type, any color you want. This is self-adhesive backing, so it's very easy. You put it on and then we can cut around it, and it comes in a ton of different colors. So first thing we're going to do is take the self-adhesive backing off on one side like this. You want to cut a piece big enough that's going to allow you overhang on all 4 sides. Then pull and drag it out. Once that's on, take it, flip it over, get yourself an X-Acto knife. I'm going to put a fresh blade in mine so it's nice and sharp, and then you're just cutting around the edges. All right. What we're going to do is sand this piece down, and it's kind of debatable how you want to do this. I'm going to sand it before I put the hardware on because I think it's easier. You're not wrong if you put the hardware on and then sand around it. I think it might take a little bit longer, but the order in which you do these last few steps is kind of debatable. Do whatever works best for you. But I'm going to sand first, and my sanding process, I'm going to go from 80 to 120 to 150 to 220 to 320, and then finish up with a light 800 grit pass. And that 800 grit pass really gives you a really nice sheen on your finish, I find. So let's begin the mind-numbingly boring process of sanding this all down. All right, getting close to the final step. So I got this baby all sanded down to 800 grit. So now we can put our hardware on. Next step, I'm going to put on my hinges. And again, the link to these hinges will be through the Amazon link in the description. 2 of them should work fine. And what I'm going to do is measure where I want to place them, and then I'm going to mark the outside edges of them. I'm going to mark the location I'm going to put the screw holes and screw them in. We're going to throw this latch on, and first thing I'm going to do is clamp my top piece to my bottom piece. Just keep them in the position I want them. And I just set up a piece of plywood so it can keep the flat back. And then I'm going to mark out my center spot on my board. So that would be 8 1/4. And the latch I picked up is this cool brass piece. It's kind of antique looking. It's brass, so it matches the hinges. And it requires 3 holes in the top, 3 holes in the bottom. So we'll go ahead and get that installed. The only thing I need to do to get that installed is just extend the line up a little bit so that I can see it. I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute. So put that top piece on, and what you want to do is that top screw hole, you just want it to bisect that line you just made. So take your woodworking awl again, place a hole where you want the screw to go. Perfecto. And then take your bottom piece and line that up where you want it. So you got your holes marked, and it comes with these 6 little itty bitty screws. So we're going to pre-drill for them. So we need to find a really small drill bit. This one's perfect. Pre-drill our holes. All right. The last thing we're going to do is put in some of these magnets. And if you're giving this to someone who's going to put it on the, say, a desk in their house, the step is not necessary. But if they're going to hang it on the wall, like I intend this one to be, then you want to do this step. These little rare earth magnets are pretty strong. What you do is you put 2 in the corners on the bottom and then 2 in the corners on top, and it'll just keep the lid closed nice and tight. So to do that, we're going to take our woodworking awl. We're going to find the center of our miter in one corner. Mark it. Center of your miter in your other corner. Mark that. Set that piece aside. Flip this over. Again, find the center of your miter. Mark. Center of your other miter. Mark. And then these magnets are exactly 5/16 of an inch. So then you're going to go over to your drill press, take a 5/16 inch drill bit or Forstner bit, and drill out these holes. And you only want to drill them to the depth of the magnet, and that's not a lot. These are maybe 1 to 2 millimeters thick. So just make sure you're drawing a very shallow hole, and then I'll see what tell you what to do on the next step. Once you have those holes drilled out for your magnets, you're going to take some CA glue, put a little dab in your hole, spray it with the accelerator, bang it nice and flat. So I'm going to finish this project in Danish oil. A company called Watco makes this version. You can get it at Home Depot or Lowe's. Seals and protects the wood. It's a penetrating finish. So my process is I first take a tack cloth and I wipe down the whole project to get rid of any dust on the project after I blow it off. And then I take just a regular old lint-free rag, rub the finish in, let it sit for 5 minutes, and then buff the finish off. That wraps up this project, guys. If you'd like to get access to the plans for this build, all you need to do is type plans now in the comments section of this video, and I'll send you an access code that you can use on my website, thepecosestheticwoodshop.com, to get these plans for free. Thanks, guys.